Incoming transmission from the future. Vancouver AI Community Meetup.
I'm so excited to introduce to you Anthonia from Ethos Labs. Ethos Labs is a close partner of ours. Many of us mentor there, and there are different programs that are amazing. Their space has been under construction for a while, but we just had a block party there last Saturday, and it was awesome. All the rooms are open. Your space is thriving and full of people. Anthonia organized the Blackathon, a hackathon with Microsoft a couple months ago that was quite amazing. It had hundreds of Black and Indigenous youth at Microsoft doing a hackathon. Here to come share some of the cool stuff that's going on at the AI World Ethos Labs. Anthonia.
Truly appreciate the platform. I asked Chris, I was like, is there a stool there? Because I feel like I want to have a little bit of a fireside chat here. We're in an interesting time. I am the parent of a 19-year-old young person going on 45, but also going on 11 on any given day. And me. And how many parents are there in the room? Sorry, where are the hands? Parents? Oh, look at that. Awesome. Can you give these parents a round of applause? Yeah. They have a young person either at home that they had to quickly feed to get here, or they are also trying to scroll and read and engage as much as possible to try and orient themselves in this time right now. My name is Anthonia Ogundele. I'm the founder and executive director of Ethos Lab Educational Society. Our mission is to empower youth to transform their communities and shift the culture of innovation. And we're doing that by ensuring that representation and inclusion and culture is at the center of that. And we want to increase the number of Black youth and gender diversity within that space. And we don't do it alone. And I'm sure you're seeing from all of the different meetups that are happening, you can't do this stuff alone. Oh, I'm like talking, assuming that the slides are going, and I forgot I have the clicker in my hand. I'm like, why is that moving? Why's my face striped? I'm sure many of you have seen this photograph. This is the rendering of the data center that's going to be going up maybe about a couple of blocks from where Ethos Lab is located. It's the conversation that parents are having, and it's the movements that young people are making around data centers and the technical infrastructure that is going to be powering this AI movement at this time. We know and we see that there are parents organizing in this moment, really concerned about the speed in which this technology is going. I don't fault anyone. We're in the space right here where we're able to be curious and have these conversations, but when you bring it up with other parents or you bring it up with some people in community, it's really, really scary. But right now, I'll say this. The parents that are here and don't want AI in schools, most recently, Ethos Lab received an email from a school saying, hey, can you run your Blackathon, but can you make it really, really hard for our students? Because every single student has access to an iPad, access to a Google Suite, has had access to AI from middle school to high school. These are not the parents that are saying don't have it in the schools, but what we're seeing right now is there is rapid inequality happening in the education system right now. And I think it's really important that while we're thinking about building the technical infrastructure, that we think about the cultural infrastructure that goes along with it. So I ask for a stool to have a seat here because many of these conversations happen around kitchen tables. The cultural infrastructure of parents is the kitchen table. That's where the pack's organized. That's maybe where I'm sitting with my laptop and trying to figure out what workshop my child needs to get to on a Saturday because I'm running completely late and I completely forgot about it and that they canceled it and I didn't really know about it. That's where it all happens, at the kitchen table. Or for me, in starting Ethos Lab, it started when I was at picking up my child from school. This is also the cultural infrastructure of our of parents and of families. When they're picking up their kids, when they're seeing other kids, seeing other kids playing or running around. And then I get into conversation with them. Where's your kid going to after school program? What are they doing for summer camp? Heaven forbid if you got them in the wrong summer camp or the right summer camp, or you were too late. That's what's happening right now. And so when we think about the cultural infrastructure that is needed to reimagine or imagine what this future is and ensuring that everyone is at the table, I draw inspiration from the kitchen table. Well, okay, I'm gonna get up here because the video's telling me to get up. I draw inspiration from the Blackathon. It's a Black History Hackathon that we do every year. Next year, we are gonna be in our 5th year. Can we get a round of applause? We started with 50 at the Center for Digital Media, and we have grown to 150 young people. This year we did 100 because we were using generative AI for the Blackathon this year. But it's over 400 young people have been to this Blackathon. So what is the Blackathon? It's again, Black History Hackathon. We take an inventor or invention or a moment in Black history and we hack an invention or something that that is inspired by their innovation. And so I'm gonna do a call back to that kitchen table, to that cultural infrastructure. We decided to hack the cultural infrastructure that was by Moore's restaurant. How many of you know about Hogan's Alley? There we go. Hogan's Alley was an enclave of the Black community here in Vancouver, which was systematically displaced at the building of the Georgia and Dunsmuir viaducts. And so what we did this year with the Blackathon, stepping out in nervousness and fear, we decided to experiment. Because as I think about, and as we think about the infrastructure that we're building, we're thinking about it in the moment, but it allows us to imagine what the future might be. So I'm gonna share a clip. We deliver this in partnership with Microsoft. We do it at the Microsoft office in Vancouver. Kids that have been there multiple times have already identified where their offices are gonna be when they grow up. They know where all the juice is, for sure. But what's beautiful is seeing them run up and down the hallways, making memories. So when they apply for jobs in the innovation sector when they're in their 20s, 30s, or who knows, when they're innovating and entrepreneuring on their own, oh, this is a place I can be. It's ubiquitous. So I'm gonna just share a little clip about some of the young people that were hacking what Hogan's Alley, a place in Hogan's Alley that is inspired by Buys More, a place where people are able to, or their friends are able to converge and come together.
Having the opportunity to design something that impacts our community in such a positive way is very empowering.
I just love seeing the amount of people in here.
What is community? That's the question that I've spent my entire life yearning for. The community that I've built with Ethos is irreplaceable.
We are in a time of incredible change. You are the ones that are shaping this future. And our mandate is empowering youth to transform their communities and shift the culture of innovation. Ethos Lab is a creative innovation hub for teens. AI adoption doesn't just require technical infrastructure. It requires cultural infrastructure, and Ethos Lab sits at that intersection. And what we do here at Ethos Lab is provide young people with the mentorship and culturally affirming environment where they are able to access the future.
The day started at 9 a.m. at the Microsoft office in downtown Vancouver.
We've worked with Microsoft over a number of years. One thing has stayed true through this relationship. The heart of it has always been co-creation.
Having the opportunity to design something that impacts our community in such a positive.
Okay, cool. We're back at
So that's just a short clip. You can find that online. But I thought that we could share some of the outputs of the Blackathon. I can't do both. Oh, can I? Oh. So For us, it's about starting with values, and more than anything else, that they learn an ethical practice and process in using artificial intelligence. So it's not just about how do I use this tool really, really quickly. They all went through a multi-week program in order to develop these cinematic trailers to help entice their friends to come to this space. Various motivations, as you know, teens have various motivations on why they'll do anything, you know. And what I really appreciate about the incredible, I'm looking at also the incredible team. Can we just give a round of applause to the Ethos Lab crew, people that are in the room? Because half the time, they're not coming necessarily to learn about artificial intelligence. They're coming because of the people. Is Jazz gonna be there? Is PJ gonna be there? And by virtue of the culture and the community that we've created, young people are gaining access to artificial intelligence in ways that are not just, hey, how do I prompt engineer? It's about community impact. It's about the why. And so we run our programs and our camps, and AI is embedded in it. So whether it be life sciences, or whether it be illustration, or whether it be biomechanics, it's all about how does that fit into kind of our everyday. And so I shared a bit about the future that they're trying to create through these cinematic trailers in place, but that needs to happen somewhere, and that happens in a place. So let's see if this is gonna work. Oh, this is the second cinematic trailer. You'll see this one. So this is the process that they go through. It's our Ubuntu innovation process, where we ground on the premise, I am because we are. Really a holistic starting point to thinking about how to create with artificial intelligence. And so you can see this was done in, 4 hours? I'd say, yeah, so a 4-hour process where they made these cinematic trailers to be able to present the spaces that they imagined to be on Hogan's Alley. Hogan's Alley Society was also a partner on the project, and so now they have a number of assets that they're able to use to be able to share the vision of their space. And what's really exciting about that is while we partnered on the future vision of what Hogan's Alley could look like using this technology, we're also partnering on a physical space. So a couple weeks ago, we had an incredible block party where we launched our innovation hub, which is at Main and 3rd, right up the block from the TELUS Data Center. This is where people can come together, make, create, and access innovation in a culturally affirming and community-grounded way. It's really exciting when you step into the room and see the infrastructure you could see the kind of physical infrastructure that is this space. That's one of our sound booths. And this is like the maker space that we have in there. But it's really exciting to see all of the walls and the tables that, wow, these are all the tools that kids can use. That's how we often feel about generative AI. Oh, this is really cool. Like I can make something with this, whether it be space or whether it be these platforms. But it doesn't come to life without, the people.
Yeah.
What are the walls and what's the generative AI without the people in the middle? Without the imaginations guiding these processes? So you have PJ here. How many of you go to the education meetup? Get to hang out with PJ at the last Thursday of every month. PJ just graduated. Super exciting. So when you see him, give him a round of applause. Yes, there you go. Let's see the young over there. Oh, and that's also in the video, but we'll move ahead nevertheless. But it's about the people. And who's that person here? So at the launch, we had community coming together to learn more about our various different programs. But again, it wasn't about leading with, hey, this really cool generative AI tool. It was, look at how we can impact and create community together. So you can see some of the incredible artwork of Jazz, our elders starting the day. Oh, there is Jazz right there. Woohoo, Jazz is back. And there we go. It's about when I say cultural infrastructure, it isn't just the walls, because the walls are really cool. Like, I really like walking through a really nice space, but it's really wonderful when you turn the corner and you run into someone else. I have a really exciting, like, squishy feeling in my heart when I'm with someone else in community and we're making and creating something together, when our minds meld and there's ideas come to life. And we're noticing, and we know that young people are experiencing that with generative AI as well too. And it's important that they don't do it alone. One thing we heard from our young people, we created an AI working group with teens. And one of the major things that they said was they believe they need to use it in community. If we do not have spaces where young people are able to engage safely with this technology, we will find ourselves in a very compromised position. And so, ending with Ndidi, who gets the party started, who knows how to create culture, I just want to share this one thought that Chris kind of pulled out of me when he was interviewing me for the album that was being created during the event. He said, what's something that you want people to know right now? Like, what'd you say, like an inspiration, something inspirational you could share? We are all uniquely made for this moment. So whatever is uniquely inside of you, just do it. And that's what we say to the kids. And I encourage you all to do that as well. So if you have a teen, we have an AI Futures camp. And I'm going to say this, it's shocking. Our other camps are not like, its camp's not doing is really great. I think it's because it has the word AI Futures and it's like, just bang. Because we wanted, people to know that we're testing in this area. But if you know any teens or anyone that's interested in going through a design sprint and making community impact, this particular camp, we're redesigning the plaza out front of our building in partnership with the Native Education College and reimagining it using generative AI. So that's how young people learn about it. I really hope that you sign up. Am I missing anything?
Nope.
Okay. What's up?
Anthonia is probably having more impact in Vancouver than anybody that I know right now. You are the rubber that hits the road between AI adoption and what's going on in the schools and in parents' heads. And I'm not surprised that you're having slow signups on that one, because it's a very controversial thing right now.
It's complicated.
The more culturally embedded you are, the more of your context probably resists the whole AI movement stuff. And so you're doing brave, hard work, and I really appreciate your partnership and you coming here sharing tonight and stuff. If you have skills and you're looking to connect with youth, yes, Anthonia is always looking for great mentors. There's a bunch of us who already mentor there. I've been doing it for almost a year.
Yay! I see hand up. There we go.
Yeah. We got 5 minutes for Q&A.
Yeah.
Does anyone got something they want to ask Anthonia?
Ooh, I hope it's an easy question. I don't have my agent with me to answer. So go for it.
Thank you very much for your talk. It was very interesting. One of the questions I had is that you said a key piece of feedback from the teenagers was that they needed to use AI in community. And I just wondered if you could dig into that a little bit.
Yeah.
What was the main reason, or how did that process go? What kind of thing?
Yeah, so we undertook that process last summer. PJ led that process with the kids. And early in some of the research with the Ethos Lab and trying to figure out what it would be, we learned that kids love learning and they don't necessarily like school. They don't necessarily, depending on the young people, it's really difficult if you don't understand how to navigate that system. So what does this mean in terms of the context of your question? I have, again, my 19-year-old daughter. When she was 13 years old, she was doing, it was like a 10-hour Minecraft video, learning how to build the Burj Khalifa in Minecraft, right? So these kids are learning how to do, they learn the individual learning they use in YouTube. I mean, much like all of us. But when it comes to generative AI or any kind of learning, they just want someone that they can turn to and say hey, how do you do that? I don't understand. You can only rewind the YouTube videos so many times. And so that was the key piece, is that they want to have like mentors and trusted leaders around them to be able to help them navigate. And I think right now, again, with the AI strategy that's come out, where we have 3,000 teachers that are going to be trained, there are 51,000 teachers in the BCTF, right? And that's the federal strategy is only saying 3,000. And so it really does require us to have spaces and places where you can have these questions and access mentors.
Yes, and on top of that, we know from research that this community has done through Angus Reid and others that British Columbians do not trust government or corporations to be the people that help them with AI adoption. And so who does that leave opportunities for? Real life community cultural organizations like Anthonia's, like Ethos, who has relationships with all these families, with all these schools already, that are looking to be onboarded into the future and don't necessarily want to do it through OpenAI or through a federal government program. They're looking for a trusted voice or, mediator there. So when I get Evan Solomon's attention, I always bring up the work that you guys
truly appreciate it.
No, you should be the one that's rolling out this stuff to the world.
Awesome. Thank you. We have relationships with the Surrey School District, Burnaby School District, and Vancouver School District in the delivery of our programming. And so we deliver programming for youth grades 5 to 7, but we also do high schoolers. And so the Blackathon was for high schoolers in particular. And so now it's just like, what does that look like for younger grades? The context shifts, as you know, like every 2 weeks within the context of AI. And so what's necessary is to have an organization that's able to be responsive to those changes, to support families in navigating. And for us, what's really important as a Black-led organization is that Black youth are not lost in that navigation. And so while we're Black-led, we're Black-centered, we're open to all young people. But that's where we want to make the impact, is ensuring that diversity is at the center.
Here. Zara, last question, sorry.
Oh no. Now we're going to have a 5-hour conversation.
Oh, no. Just on these current news, we heard that Norway just this week announced that they're banning AI completely from high school. And at the same time, we see Alpha School in the United States taking the exact opposite position. How do we navigate? How do we find the balance, Anthonia? Where should we be?
I'm tired. It's really kind of I don't really know per se. What I do know, though, is that if it's being banned kind of broader, I'm a parent, I know about this stuff. I'm going to teach my kid, right? Regardless, right? It's the same with when my child wanted a cell phone. I don't know if some of y'all experience this. My child wanted a cell phone at 11. I was like, no, you're not going to have it. And go and have a social media account, which she wasn't allowed to have because you have to be 13 and older. How many 10, 11-year-olds that have Instagram and all these things? Parents are giving them access. It's just going to kind of go underground, I'd say. And it's going to need a lot of diligence on the public sector to understand and manage that disparity between independent schools and public schools. Because that is what's happening right now, is that independent schools are just kind of like flying with this stuff. And the public school system is like, with Copilot 13 plus. Well,
they have many more entrenched interests that they're also trying to.
Exactly. And so that's one thing. But there's also a trend in public education where the pandemic really started moving it along. It was starting to happen in the U.S. around school choice, right? So my daughter was in school up until the age of grade 11. But she had multiple learning needs, and I know a lot of other parents struggle with being able to find the supports in the school system for their young person that might have various learning needs. And so she started doing the Vancouver Learning Network. So she did school, she was in class for 2 sessions, and then she had a tutor online using the Vancouver Learning Network. You may start to see a shift in how parents are starting to either move their kids into, private school systems or homeschool systems, or starting to create this kind of buffet educational experience, which is becoming more and more common in the conversations that you have at the parent pickup area or in the parent WhatsApp groups. Yeah. So I don't know, but parents are enablers.
I mean, Zara, it's
parents are gonna do it.
It's the heart of the matter, really. It really truly is. We produced an album together at the Block Party with a lot of the youth voices, with Sandy's voice, with Anthonia's voice on it. We made this beautiful artifact. And yet, it is so controversial, we kind of can't exactly release it to the community because there's musicians in the community. I mean, I don't want to put words in their mouth, but...
I just want to be, you have to be incredibly mindful. But I'm going to say this, and then I'm sure you want to kick me off the stage before we move on, but...
Let's want to be nice to Mr.
Oh, yes, for sure, yes. So, absolutely. Trying my say that maybe the other segue, but I'm maybe going to anecdotally like put this in what like the mind of I'm going to go into the mind of a parent and say something generally what all parents think. It's a huge generalization. I want the best for my kid. As long as you have that premise, you are going to ensure that your child has access to the things that they need. Come hell or high water. You have parents that are putting they're going into absolute debt to get their kids into particular camps. Yeah. To also, am I in the right, are we in the right segment or the right mommy groups? It's a real thing. And so how do we go from what's the best thing for my kid to what's the best thing for our kids in a real way?
Yeah. Thank you, Anthonia is one of the co-leaders of our AI and education group. She's on our group chat on the education channel. If you talk to her and tag her there, she'll respond to you. You can drop volunteer links, donation links. Cool. If you got time, give her your time. If you got money, give her your money.
Please.
If you don't know what she needs, just ask her. How can I help? How can I help?
Did you I thought you turned off my mouth. Like, we need rent money.
Thank you, Anthonia.